right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. A lot to dive into and discuss of what's going on in the Apex Legends esports world. We've got results coming from the regional finals for the APAC South and one team specifically that will not be making it, as we were sitting here watching all of these teams qualify. So many of these teams were just literally 1 point away and 1 point of each other, that there was a team that were going into it, we thought they were going to make it, and sadly they just didn't qualify in the end. But we've also got to talk about some results for some of the Pro League matches as well, how some of these teams are faring off, how going on about the current North American meta and why they are struggling. TSM was probably the most dominant team along with Dark Zero before season 20 dropped, and now all of a sudden it seems like things have changed, but some teams have adapted well. What's going on with TSM? Now, first off, just want to say today is baby day. Wish us luck. We are literally at the hospital at the time of you watching this video, but I had to wake up super early in the morning so that I can get this knocked out before we left. First off, let's go ahead and dive into it. Wanted to mention APAC South last night, of course, well, technically 2 days ago, like early in the morning, like 4 a.m. yesterday, they were playing their APAC South regional finals. Now, first place in the overall standings was Wonton Dumpling, Legends Gaming, TYK, MDY White, Team Burger, Serenity, Boogie Borders, and Heroes. So there's your top 8 that are going to LAN, as you can see on screen. This is where the cutoff is, this line, and unfortunately Akuma, X and Y, and Dreamfire will not be making LAN. And it's even weird to see teams like Lightning Unicorn that started the season off so strong and sadly just could not finish it nearly as much. Then you can see like where the Pro League cutoff here is as well, but unfortunately some of these teams just not able to make it. I was really shocked by Dreamfire because they had stepped it up, but this is why it's so important to start your season off strong. We know that when they started off Pro League earlier in the split, they really struggled, and finally towards the end they were able to put it together, but it was a little too late. And then going into their regional finals specifically, this was coming from ApexGlobalSeries.com, TYK was the team that was able to take first place in the regional finals. So they actually won the regional finals. Wonton Dumpling in second, MDY White in third, Serenity in fourth. It was really good to see Team Burger. I felt like there was another team that kind of, we thought on paper was going to be so good with Pricey and Sharky back together, but sadly they just kind of didn't really start off that strong, but they've really pulled it together, and I think they're becoming a much more polished and refined team as well. But Legends Gaming, obviously, like, you probably expect them to win the regional finals, but you're not going to win all of them. This team is still very solid and going to LAN as well, but this was the biggest upset to not see Dreamfire qualify in that. Unfortunate news. But before the split started, I don't know why I was thinking Dreamfire was actually going to be one of those 2 invites from the Republic of China, or maybe I got that confused with someone else. But anyways, jumping into the EMEA Pro League as well, don't forget they had their overall standings and their match last night, and basically it wasn't regional finals. I don't know why, but North America and EMEA are actually like a week behind. So even though APAC South and APAC North played theirs this week, North America and EMEA are going to be playing theirs next week. So this is the overall standings for the EMEA scene, and it's Aurora in first by a long shot. I literally posted a couple of days ago that this team is playing absolute peak Apex right now. Probably the best team that I have seen for EMEA in a very long time. Like, I literally think that they're going to go into this LAN and show an immense amount of presence here if they can get visas. And unfortunately we are still battling with not knowing the official dates, even though we've heard leaks and we kind of know. We haven't really heard the official announcement from Respawn. We don't even know where the lands are actually going to be for sure. Once again, we've heard rumors and we think we know, but these things are not official yet, and I don't really know if you could apply and get this visa in time if there's not an official public event that is scheduled. So I really hope that we don't run into more visa issues like we did last year, and it is going to be beyond disappointing, and honestly all Respawn's fault if they do not get in, because this has been once again late announcements. They promised us earlier last year that they would not have this issue again this year, and they would make sure that they worked around that, and it does not seem that it's actually happening, because I feel like if we're having this LAN in less than 2 months, it is a very late announcement, unfortunately. But Aurora in first place, Navi in second, Alliance in third, 07 in your top 4 here. And currently right now, the cutoff would be Element 6. And so you would miss out on teams like Passion, LCDF, Cybercats, a very solid roster. Omit LVH, a couple of these teams that, have players you actually know, but unfortunately, the 40% worse with Shiv and Co. sadly just not having their best of days. But don't forget, they have their regional finals still coming up pretty shortly. But let's dive into North America. Some crazy things going on in North America that I find a little weird. So one of the weirdest things in Pro League is when you have a team that's playing and literally has no identity whatsoever. There is no passion. There is no roster really. It's just a mix up of abusing this rule that ALGS has allowed, where you can have a coach, have a substitute player that has the pro league spot with one player, and they're constantly switching out who their new players are going to be. And sadly, it has not worked at all. Z Davis had posted that Skirt holding a pro league spot with a coach for this performance might go down as one of the worst fumbles in Apex history. Well, what performance are you talking about? Last night they played their Group A versus Group C, and you could see not only would they have Furia and Disguise win, and we'll talk about in just a second, but Skirt in dead last here with only 4 points, by the way. Only 2 kills they were able to get. This is really, really bad. And honestly, even though I love the players on there and I respect them all as players, this has just got to change. And this rule that is being abused in order to keep the pro league spot is quite wild, in my opinion. But we do need to mention Furia once again breaking that curse. Congrats to them, finally getting first place and not second, or not just a good performance, but a great performance. Really good work from Furia there to get first. And we're going to talk more about them later on in the week. But Disguised also in second. Of course, this was a big one considering the crazy amount of drama that had been going on in that camp for quite some time. Of course, Design was talking about the whole meta and their issues, and we watched that the other day, and it looks like they have really bounced back since then. They've placed third in scrims, fourth in scrims, and then second in this Group A versus Group C Pro League match. So really good job on them. Moist Esports, GKS, and XSET right there to follow suit. But what I think is very interesting is currently looking at these teams right now, we are looking at a lot of teams that we know, love, and respect that will not be making LAN if they don't turn up next week in the regional final. So of course, it should be no surprise. Dark Zero is your #1 team, Moist Esports in second, Furia and Disguised in the top 4. TSM can technically be on the brink of having some issues, but I think they're going to do just fine. They always clutch up, and we've not really seen TSM in too dangerous of a spot. But LG in the top 5, Complexity, Legacy, Elevate, TSM, SSG, Oxygen, and GKS are your top 12. If it ended today, these are the teams that would be going to LAN. The teams that would be missing LAN: XSET, Drop In Gaming, Optic Gaming missing LAN would be insane. Sentinels, of course, there's a couple others as well. A FaZe not even getting back in a pro league after this. Really, really big issues. DNO, Meat Lovers have sadly kind of clinched their spot to not make it. So really, really unfortunate stuff, man. And I really wonder if there's going to be any big announcements like retirements or anything like that coming out of this. But a lot of things to be had, and unfortunately a lot of teams that will not be making it. And this is the way that it always happens, but I guess at the end of the day, that's the name of the game when it comes to esports. Now, one of the biggest conversations for all of these teams was Disguised as well. Of course, their issues with what? The meta. TSM, why are they not dominant like they used to be? Dark Zero is still constantly in the top 3 in almost everything they do and play. Well, TSM has openly admitted that they are struggling when it comes to the meta. This is the current pick rate for North America, and you can see the #1 pick is Caustic. Caustic has completely taken over the meta, and this was totally 180 from what we saw a couple of weeks ago as we were in season 19, where you were seeing a very heavy Catalyst meta. Catalyst is pretty much completely out, and not many people are using her. Only a 5% pick rate, but Caustic, Bloodhound, Bangalore, the top 3 picks. Then you see more of Valkyrie, Horizon, but it is very, very top heavy, unfortunately, with Caustic, Blood, and Bangalore. I do like that Valkyrie sitting at 25%. That shows that there is quite a bit of diversity when it comes to the meta. It's not just 3. But I do think Caustic being 81% is kind of crazy. But don't forget, a couple of weeks ago, months ago, we were at a 97% of all teams pretty much using the exact same meta at LAN. So it has definitely changed up quite a bit. And this is just North America. We get even crazier. Not all these other regions are actually following suit with what North America is doing. But here goes how obviously saying that they are struggling with the meta and adapting, but they are probably the best team at adapting to new metas. But just sadly, I guess this time it's been a little bit different. So here's EmperialHal discussing why TSM may be struggling with a new current meta. Roll the clip.
But why is Evan is not on the Caustic? Why is he on Valk? She's good. She's good. Don't get me wrong, but she's not providing you the things you want.
Well, last time we put, well, obviously it's like the same thing with like me playing Bloodhound. Like I was making mistakes, right? And then like the last time we put fucking Evan on Caustic, which was like during Valk Gibby Caustic meta, he was playing absolutely terrible. Like he would like his positioning was absolutely like really bad on Caustic. We're not playing bang fucking Bloodhound Caustic right now, so like we might as well just put Evan on Valk because that's what he used to play. And yeah, that's how I say it.
Yep.
But.
But it doesn't matter about he used to play. He used to play. He failed at the first starts on Cat when you tried him at Cat, and then look at him what he was afterwards when he tried to play it. I remember when Raven tried to force Cat's meta in the beginning. You know, in the
Yeah, no, I know. I was playing it.
He was actually not doing a good job at all in Cat. Then you went back to Valk. The same situation, I feel it like now. You went back to Valk, you just, let's say, qualified on that, you were okay, but you still struggled on Valk. Then the time came and said, like, I'm not going to play any more Valk, I'm going to play back to Cat, and he became a good Cat.
I know, I agree. Like, I think, I don't, like, me and Jordan do believe that, like, we kind of need to get off Valk, but at the same time, it's like, you would have to talk to Raven, because Raven's the one that's, like, against it. Type shit. Okay. So it's like he believes that we shouldn't be playing. Like he believes our mistakes are not off the comp. Like we're making individual mistakes and shit like that, which is like true if you watch our VODs.
And basically hear Hal say that it's Raven that's making this current legend meta call, saying that they do think that Valk is actually the play for them. But interested to see, obviously, if you guys agree with TSM's meta decisions. Are they going in the right direction? Are they cooking something? Obviously, they normally do, but this time they're outnumbered, and it seems like everybody else is finding success with this other legend meta. So I'm interested to see if you guys agree with what these other teams are doing, or if you think TSM is on the right path. So don't forget, regional finals is next week, and TSM needs to clinch their spot. They are a few points ahead, so they should have no worries in doing so, but some of these other teams on the brink might be in danger. They definitely need a good match day, to say the least. Interested to see what you guys have to say about all the topics down in the comment section below. Of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with all things going on in the Apex Legends esports news world. And until the next time, and until after this baby, we will see you later, Gators.